Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 99.
But we're skipping the battles today. We're going straight to the organizational chart.
I love it.
Our mission is to unpack that moment of truth in Chapter 99, how all the chaos of the wars was finally resolved. And it was resolved by assigning 365 fallen souls their eternal bureaucratic positions as the new celestial government.
The ultimate paperwork session. So the central figure here is Jiang Ziya, or just Ziya. He's the strategist who guided the new dynasty to victory, and he's the one tasked with enacting this grand cosmic decree.
He is. But before he can start handing out divine titles, he has to perform a really crucial administrative step.
Of course he does.
Ziya couldn't just, start assigning roles based on who he liked. This required cosmic authority.
So where does he get that?
He has to travel to the Jade Void Palace to petition his teacher, the supreme deity Wanshi Tianzin, for the official mandate. The text calls this the Wufu and Keeming the Five Tallies and the imperial decree.
And what was the immediate rush? Why the bureaucratic urgency?
It was pure necessity. The source material makes it really clear that the wandering souls of all these thousands of fallen heroes, loyal officials, casualties, they all needed a final destination.
They can't just be left floating around the cosmos.
No, exactly. Ziya had to act quickly so that these souls would not wander without reliance. It was basically an emergency job placement program for the dead.
You have to appreciate that the universe can't tolerate loose ends. And when the mandate finally arrives in Shiki, where Ziya is waiting, it's not just a scroll, is it? It's a whole event.
Oh, it is the embodiment of cosmic law descending to Earth. The decree is carried by celestial attendants, the White Crane Boy, Yellow Turban Warriors. The atmosphere just shifts instantly.
How so?
Loud celestial music fills the air, mingled with perfumed mist. It's a signal that this decree is absolute. It's unquestionable.
So Ziya sets this mandate on the Investiture platform and prepares to read it. But before we get to the names, we have to look at the philosophy inside that document. What is the official mandate saying about why these people are being appointed?
Yes.
Were these roles a reward, or were they something else?
This is the most critical because the decree itself is a cosmic judgment. It reframes the entire war, this cycle of calamity, not as a political conflict, but as a spiritual cleansing.
A spiritual cleansing that was necessary because of failure? But wait, many of these people were powerful cultivators. They practiced the Tao.
They did, but they failed the final critical test. The decree states that they're being invested because, despite all that practice, they failed to achieve true, unbound enlightenment.
And what was the specific failure?
They had not yet chopped off the 3 corpses.
The 3 corpses, that's the core hurdle, right? For listeners who might be new to Taoist practice, why is that failure so critical?
Well, the 3 corpses are basically the internal enemies that keep you bound to the mortal world. Greed, anger, and delusion.
So to chop them off means achieving total mastery over your own internal weaknesses.
Exactly. And because these fallen heroes still harbored residual greed, anger, and delusion, they accumulated transgressions. That failure, that internal flaw, is what dragged them directly into the cycle of calamity.
Wow. So Ziya is essentially reading a cosmic failure report before handing out jobs.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
The appointment as a god isn't a reward for their loyalty on the battlefield. It's a necessary placement for souls who failed to achieve ultimate freedom.
Precisely. They get a job because they couldn't ascend any higher. They are being assigned as the 365 righteous gods of the 8 ministries to oversee the world and adjudicate human good and evil.
They're eternally bound celestial civil servants.
Yes, because they just lacked the purity to become truly enlightened, unbound sages.
But hold on. If they failed the test of self-control, if they were still prone to greed and anger, why give them immense power over the human world? Doesn't that just export their flaws to a higher level?
It raises a powerful question, about the limits of cosmic structure. The system needs administrators. And these particular souls, loyal, powerful, but flawed, they're the best available material to staff the new order.
So they're strong enough to govern, but flawed enough to be controllable.
Exactly. Controllable by the true, supreme sages who are above them.
That reframes the entire pantheon. Okay, let's move from the philosophy of the administration. Ziya starts investing the gods, and the very first person on the list isn't who you'd expect.
No, not a famous military hero. The very first name is Jiang.
Jiang. Why him first?
This just underscores the absolute priority of administrative function over military glory. Before any general is appointed, the cosmic HR department has to be established.
So who was Jiang in life?
He was a marshal under the Yellow Emperor, Xuanyuan, thousands of years before this war. He He was killed fighting Chiyu and has been a lingering, unbound spirit ever since.
And his new role?
It's paramount. He is made the clear, happiness, righteous God, chief of the 3 realms and 365 positions.
So he's the chief administrator for the whole system.
To put it simply, yes. He is the administrative supervisor for the entire celestial bureaucracy, the immortal HR manager overseeing all 365 gods. It's a massive logistical role.
A huge job for a spirit who's been waiting millennia. Okay, moving on to heroes who died more recently, the next major appointment is Huang Qianhua, a really tragic figure.
Yes, Huang Tianhua is invested early. He's praised for his youth, his loyalty, and crucially, his special filial piety, his great efforts to save his father during the war.
He died young, but his service earned him a definitive post.
It did. He's appointed the righteous god of governing the 3 mountains, Duke Bingling.
That seems like a respectable, localized executive function over terrestrial geography.
It is. It's specific, but important. But now here's where the assignments just explode in scope. We move to the investiture of the 5 sacred peaks.
Okay, the 5 peaks. These are the most important terrestrial deities, the ones that anchor the physical world.
Right.
And the leader of this group is Huang Feihu.
Right.
His mortal story is so compelling. He betrayed the cruel Shang King Zhu after the king murdered his wife, fled, and served the Zhu loyally until he died in battle.
And Huang Feihu's appointment is just colossal. It reflects his moral stature and service. He is made the chief of the 5 peaks, the great benevolent saintly emperor of Mount Tai.
That's already huge.
It is, but the decree grants him a staggering secondary role.
Which is?
He is put in charge of the 18 layers of the underworld.
Wait, what?
Yes. The text is explicit. He's not just a mountain deity. He is the celestial supreme judge of the dead. He oversees all matters of life and death transformation.
He oversees all life and death. That is massive. So the decree makes a mortal general, who only recently died in battle, the head of the entire judicial system of the afterlife.
It shows that moral rectitude and loyalty, even if it comes through an act of rebellion, are supremely valued in this new order.
So how much power does that give him?
The source specifies that all matters of life, death, divine, and mortal transformation must be examined and confirmed by the Eastern Peak before being carried out. He sets the schedule for the entire cosmos's cycle of reincarnation and judgment.
So he's one of the most powerful administrative deities in the entire new pantheon.
Without a doubt. And this department is fully staffed, too. His 4 allies get the other peak titles.
Right. Chenghehu for the South Peak, Wenpin for the Central, Guiying for the North, and Jiang for the West.
Every major compass direction is immediately covered under Feihu's ultimate authority. The structural detail is just astonishing. The universe goes from total chaos to a perfectly organized chain of command in what feels like a matter of hours.
Okay, let's shift gears now to the primary functional departments. The ministries that directly control the elements and impact the human world. Thunder, fire, and plague.
These are the heads of the most powerful offices. We can begin with the Ministry of Thunder.
And the appointment of its leader, Wenzong, is one of the most dramatic moments in the whole ceremony.
It really is. Wenzong was the Grand Tutor, the powerful loyalist general who was Ziya's greatest enemy. And even in death, he retains that ferocious pride.
He doesn't just meekly accept his post.
Not at all. The text describes him leading 24 gods and storming in, where he initially refuses to kneel before the new order. This is pure bureaucracy meeting pure ego.
And Ziya, as the administrative authority, has to deal with this divine insubordination right there on the spot.
He does. He has to command Wenzong with the god whip to force him to attention.
Wow.
The fact that the architect of the new order has to physically compel submission from a ghost shows that even in this new celestial hierarchy, raw power and pride don't just vanish.
Wenzong retains that ferocious, independent spirit, even as he accepts his eternal job.
And what a job it is. He's named the Celestial Venerable of Universal Transformation and Originating Thunder.
He's essentially the CEO of weather control.
That's it. He's responsible for exciting clouds and spreading rain, but also for this vast ethical oversight, punishing the perverse and eliminating the treacherous.
His scope covers both the meteorological and the moral.
Exactly. And he leads 24 subordinate heavenly monarchs, which just shows the sheer manpower dedicated to this function. His ministry also integrates related phenomena, like the goddess of lightning and the god of assisting wind. They're all placed under his command.
It's a very integrated command structure. So that brings us to the Ministry of Fire, which is headed by Luo Xuan.
Right.
And His appointment ties directly back to that philosophy we discussed earlier, the failure to chop off the 3 corpses.
It's maybe the most ironic fate on the list. Louis Chuan was on the path to true enlightenment, but the decree says he failed due to a single thought of passion or anger.
A single thought.
One moment of internal failure. It cost him immortality.
So his personal failing, a moment of uncontrolled passion, is what binds him eternally to the very element he couldn't master.
Yes, he is literally assigned to manage the very thing that cost him his true freedom.
That's incredible. What's his official title?
He is invested as the righteous god of the 3 southern fires, Star-Lord, overseeing all aspects of fire and, again, inspecting human morality. The cosmic punishment fits the crime perfectly. He's bound to the flames of his own residual passion.
And his team is uniquely named too, isn't it?
Yes, it further integrates the celestial map into the bureaucracy. He commands 5 subordinate fire gods who share names with constellations and animals. Tailfire tiger, roomfire pig, beakfire monkey. It's a very specific, structured team for handling terrestrial heat.
It emphasizes the detailed nature of this cosmic overhaul. Nothing is left to chance. Every force of nature has a dedicated department head and a meticulously organized staff.
And finally, we have to discuss the Ministry of Plague.
The atmosphere surrounding this particular investiture is just chilling. The text describes dreary fog and mournful winds.
It really sets the mood for the grim nature of the ministry. The leader here is Liu Yu, and this appointment highlights the necessary administrative evil that the system requires.
His failure was profound, wasn't it?
It was. The text specifically says his lack of enlightenment was because he listened to slander and caused mass slaughter during the mortal conflict.
So a figure who caused untold human calamity is now put in charge of controlled calamity.
Exactly. It's an ethical paradox, but one designed to achieve cosmic order.
And his role?
He is the great emperor governing the plague heaven, responsible for managing seasonal epidemics.
They didn't eliminate the plague, they bureaucratized it.
They did. And the source details his team. The 4 directional plague envoys, east, south, west, and north, plus a master of encouraging goodness and a Taoist of harmonizing play.
That's a terrifyingly efficient disease delivery mechanism.
But one that is now crucially under control. The scene itself is just so important to picture. Jiang is the designated executor, but he makes it very clear he is simply following the mandated text.
So there's no room for argument.
None. It lends this air of absolute non-negotiable authority to every single appointment. And the structure starts at the absolute apex, establishing the 2 supreme figures of this stellar domain.
And the first name called for the most dominant operational position. It really sets the tone for the complex politics at play here.
It does. This is the big boss of the Star Forces, Jinling Shengmin, the Golden Spirit Holy Mother.
So what's her title?
She receives the title of the Eternal Dipper Mother God, or Kangjung Jin Rizhen. This is the supreme position overseeing the entire mechanism of the stars. Her portfolio is immense.
Okay.
Presiding over the Golden Gate, Jinhua, and governing the entire structure of the Dipper Mansion, Zhongguo. She's essentially the operational CEO of the Star Department.
What's so fascinating here, though, is that the decree doesn't just grant the title. It offers a public explanation for her mortal failure.
Yes, it does.
The document explicitly states that while she had moral integrity complete, so suggesting she was spiritually ready for immortality, her ultimate downfall was caused by unrestrained anger.
Chonshin Weitui. That anger led to her death in the flames of slaughter.
It's like a performance review and a job offer all in one.
It's classic bureaucratic myth-making in action. The decree elevates her status, posthumously rewarding her immense inherent merit, while at the same time justifying why she perished in the war instead of transcending normally.
It sets a crucial precedent then.
Absolutely. It says that while, a temperamental failure might cost you your mortal life, immense power and merit can still secure you the highest administrative office in the heavens. It legitimizes her appointment while still acknowledging her flaw.
So she's running the operations, and what operations? Her scope of command is truly staggering.
It's 84,000 group of stars and evil fiends, Kunjing Sha.
84,000. That's not just a number. That is the entire teeming workforce of the stellar government.
An absolutely massive portfolio. But while she is the operational head of the Star Corps, the second crucial appointment establishes the supreme, unmoving imperial authority.
And that's the Central Heaven Northern Polar Ziwei Great Emperor.
Correct. Zhongtin Beiji Zhengwei Dadi.
And that supreme imperial post is assigned to Ji Boiqin,
who was the virtuous eldest son of King Wen. This is the imperial seat right there in the North Star.
Can you break down the difference between those two roles? Because they sound equally powerful.
Well, the difference reveals the architecture of the divine state. The Ziya Emperor is named after the pole star, Ziya. The pole star never moves.
It's the fixed center.
Exactly. It represents ultimate, unmoving imperial authority and stability. But the Dipper Mother, she governs the Dipper Mansion, the very constellations that move and turn.
So she handles the active, day-to-day mechanisms of cosmic governance.
That's it. One represents fixed law, the other represents active administration.
That makes perfect sense. Does the decree give us any insight into their chain of command? I mean, does the Dipper Mother report to the Ziya Emperor, or are they parallel departments?
The decree is silent on that. It suggests they may operate as parallel, specialized spheres of authority, both subordinate to the ultimate Taoist hierarchy above them. The system is designed not for simple hierarchy, but for comprehensive control.
Okay, so now we move past the top leadership and drill down into the core organizational structure.
The Star Department immediately segments into the 5 Dippers, the W.
Distributing administrative power across the 5 celestial regions. It's just like a divisional structure in any large corporation.
Precisely. Let's start with the North Dipper, the Beijing. This is where the source clearly defines the translation of earthly virtues into cosmic functions. We see Huang Tianxian appointed as Tiangong, the heavenly chief star, a figure of command.
But the appointments that really illustrate this administrative logic are the literary and military stars. We see Jiang,
a famously, intensely loyal minister in his mortal life.
He's appointed as Wenkel, the culture star.
And this is where the context really matters. Jiang's loyalty was so profound that in the myth, the tyrannical King Zhou ordered his heart cut out.
Just to test some theory about the hearts of sages.
Right. So by making him the culture star, the new heavenly regime is rewarding his ultimate virtue and steadfastness with a permanent post-governing literature and scholarship.
You contrast that with Do Rong, who is assigned W Long, the military star. So you have the scholar and the warrior.
The civil and martial functions, established as the immediate pillars beneath the supreme leaders in the north. It's a beautifully balanced system.
And this systematic approach just continues across the other 4 Dippers, right?
It does. The East Dipper, Dongdu, fills out its roster with figures like Su Hu and Jin Ku. The West Dipper includes officials like Huang Tianlu and Long Huan.
And the South Dipper, Nandir, appears to be a bit larger, which suggests a broader portfolio, with figures like Zhu Ji and Hu Lei.
Meanwhile, the Central Dipper, Zhengyu, is smaller, focusing on key stabilizing figures like Elam Renjie. It's all about comprehensive coverage.
So every aspect of celestial governance and its influence on the human world, from fate to fortune, is housed in one of these 5 meticulously staffed administrative branches.
Exactly.
Beyond the Dippers, the decree also has to staff the element and attribute stars. I mean, the literal foundational forces of the universe need managers too.
They absolutely do. And the most obvious celestial bodies are addressed first. The Sun Star, Taiyang, goes to Sugai, a figure noted for brightness and reliability.
Okay, that makes sense.
And significantly, the Moon Star, Taiyang, is assigned to Zheng Shi.
Wait, Zheng Shi, as in the former Queen of Zhou.
The very same.
That's fascinating. She was one of the first victims of King Zhou's tyranny, wasn't she? Suffered a horrible fate.
She did. Her assignment to the Moon Star, the star of passive light and yin energy, seems to be both a reward for her moral righteousness and a recognition of her quiet, powerful suffering.
A powerful statement of cosmic justice.
And the material elements are treated with the same organizational rigor. We see appointees for gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Hunglin Shengmei, a fiery character in life, is logically given the fire department.
And Tai Xing-sun, known for his ability to travel through the earth.
Gets the earth department a perfect fit.
I find the level of administrative granularity most telling in the water department, though. It's not just a single appointment.
No, it's not. Jiang is named the North Dipper 5-key water virtue star lord, leading the entire department. But the source specifically details 4 named subordinates beneath him.
This is truly deep administrative staffing.
It is. Jiang is the leader, but his staff are named after specific water-associated creatures. Ji Shumbao, key water leopard, and Bi Shougyu, water porpoise, among them.
Which shows that the system has layers of management and specialized staff. They're ensuring that the control over the world's water is meticulously managed, not just theoretically assigned.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with the core structure staffed, we move into the vast middle and lower management, the bureaucracy that gives this government its immense scale.
And this is where the sheer scope of the celestial government really hits home. Massive rosters like the 36 heavenly spirits, Tiangjing, and the 72 earthly fiends, Dishijing.
And these are basically the casualty list turned into personnel files.
That's exactly what they are. The source is explicit. Both the 36 heavenly spirits and the 72 earthly fiends are composed almost entirely of combatants who died in the climactic battle, the Wan Xinen.
So, it's divine conscription by fatal accident. You die, you get a job.
That's one way to look at it. The entire mid-level civil service is staffed by the war dead. The sheer number of appointments here is a testament to the immense cost of establishing this new cosmic order.
And then you have the 28 constellations, the Orshibashu.
Right, the stellar lodges that are vital for astronomy and calendrics. The appointments here ensure the continuity of cosmic measurement. We see the 4 primary animal forms are filled. Deng Yunggong as the King Long, the Azure Dragon,
Which symbolizes the east and spring.
and Yin Chengshu as the Bai Chen, the White Tiger, representing the west and autumn.
And crucially, the decree specifies efficient resource allocation. It notes that 8 of the members of these 28 constellations were strategically assigned to the specialized water and fire departments.
It shows a bureaucracy is actively optimizing personnel based on perceived skills, even in the afterlife. It's tightly structured.
It is. But now, we absolutely have to move to the segment that reveals the true sort of dark humor and deep irony baked into this administrative process.
The high drama, low status appointments.
These are the assignments that comment directly and sometimes brutally on the recipient's mortal character.
This is where we see divine fate acting less like impartial justice and more like a celestial gossip column.
We have to start with the most dramatic and ironic appointment of the entire decree. King Zhu, the tyrannical figure whose actions instigated the entire war.
His fate is sealed as the heavenly happiness star, Tianxing.
Wait, you're kidding? The man who caused unparalleled misery and destruction is now the star responsible for joy and felicity.
That's the one. The level of irony is just stunning.
Why? Why would the ultimate villain receive the ultimate happy ending job?
Well, it almost suggests that his cruelty, by forcing the cosmic change, served some kind of higher purpose, and this is his reward for playing that necessary destructive role. It's a commentary on the complex nature of fate itself.
Wow. Okay, so contrast that with the assignments that fit perfectly.
Like Longji Gringjing. Known for her beauty and tragic romantic life, she receives the Red Luan star, Hong Luanjing.
The star associated with marriage and romance, that's a straightforward fit.
It is.
But the personal, almost cold-blooded revenge disguised as a bureaucratic appointment. That has to be the fate of
Ma Shi.
Tell us about her, because this hits very close to Jiang Ziya himself.
And she was Jiang Ziya's original mortal wife, a demanding, materialistic, a deeply unpleasant figure. She was so insistent on him being financially successful that she scorned his spiritual ambition.
He abandoned him, right?
She did, when he was just a humble fish vendor. She was a constant source of ridicule and complaint for the great general.
And her eternal reward? Handed down by the decree that her ex-husband is reading out loud?
And she is assigned the Broom Star. Zing?
The Broom Star. What on earth is that?
It's a traditional star of misfortune, poverty, and just general bad luck. The heavenly administration decided her eternal job is to be the celestial harbinger of misery, perpetually sweeping away good fortune.
That is spectacularly cold.
It's the ultimate act of settling a personal score through divine paperwork.
And it confirms that the human drama, the grudges, the personality conflicts, are all preserved and formalized within the cosmic structure.
And if you look down the roster of evil fiends, you realize how comprehensive the system is in managing misfortune. They literally staff departments dedicated to specific types of bad luck.
You've got the bad luck specialists, the Morning Door Star, the Sang Menjin, which governs death and grief, goes to Zhang Guifang.
Then there's Fei Zong, assigned the Hook Star, Gu Jingxing, which suggests entanglement and restraint.
And for anyone dealing with fiscal trouble, Cheng Ho HQ is assigned the Great Expense Star, Da Haoxing.
The god of large financial loss.
Even romantic trouble has a dedicated manager. Gao Shi Lanying is appointed the Peach Blossom Star, Ta Hua Qing, governing excessive or problematic romantic dalliances.
So if you feel like you are having an expensive, complicated, unlucky day...
It's not random. It means all these specific, meticulously appointed celestial functionaries are actively clocking in for duty. Every major and minor detail of human fate, good or ruinous, has a designated divine administrator. Okay, let's start right there with that idea with Jiang. We've mentioned it before, but for anyone just diving in, what exactly is this unavoidable fate that makes this whole reshuffling necessary?
So Jiang is essentially this predetermined cycle of conflict and suffering. It means the universe had just reached a point of cosmic stagnation, of moral decay, and a massive war was needed to clear the slate.
A hard reset.
A hard reset. So all the heroes and villains who died, regardless of their personal loyalty or morality, they were just fulfilling that larger necessary cycle. Their death wasn't just a tragic end, it was a required sacrifice for cosmic renewal.
So their deification, it isn't a reward, it's more of a structural assignment.
Precisely. They've paid their cosmic dues, and now they get eternal duties that reflect their life, their skill, or, their fatal flaw.
Okay, let's unpack that. Let's start with the gods who manage time and, frankly, human misery. The Tai Sui. First up, Yin Zhao.
Yin Zhao is a textbook example. His backstory is so tragic, as King Zhu's son who suffered terribly. You feel for him, but, and it's a huge but. His critical flaw is that he broke his sacred oath.
He swore an oath to the good guys and then broke it.
He was swayed by the villain Shen Gongbao and turned his weapon against his own allies. That led to the Ploughu disaster, a catastrophe where he's eventually defeated.
So wait, if he broke a sacred oath of fidelity, why on earth has he given the fundamental job of celestial timekeeping? That seems like the one job you want someone reliable for.
And that's the contradiction at the heart of the whole book. Jiang Ziya's decree even notes his self-made error, but it also acknowledges his immense suffering. So his new role, the governing year lord Tai Sui,
who's responsible for the year's fortune and misfortune.
Right, it's a form of redemption through ceaseless, unyielding duty. He, the oathbreaker, is now the guy holding the structure of time together.
That's a heavy burden. And working with him is Yang Ren, the Jiazi Tai Sui god. His story is different, though.
Very different. Yang Ren's story is all selfless suffering and unwavering loyalty. He's the opposite of Yin Zhao. He was blinded for giving honest advice to the old king and then died fighting for the new one.
So he's rewarded for his integrity.
And rewarded with a supreme task. His job is to inspect human morality. He leads the daily duty gods to observe human past errors. The phrase is Cha Renjan Guayin Gutan Yu.
So the man who was blinded for trying to uphold truth now eternally sees all human failings.
The poetry of it is just incredible. And you can see the depth of this new bureaucracy right away.
Yeah, we aren't just getting, the big name gods. We're seeing the whole administrative structure of fate being laid out.
And you can see the checks and balances. You have the day patrol god, the night patrol god. But then you get the really interesting pair, the increase fortune god and the decrease fortune god.
So they're not just taking notes. They're actively managing luck.
The whole system is designed to keep human karma fluid and actively managed.
Okay, so from destiny and timekeeping, let's move to the most tangible thing in the mortal world. Cold hard cash.
Let's talk about Zhao Gongming,
who is now, you could argue, the most famous deity from this entire list, the god of wealth.
And he was an extremely powerful cultivator. He really shouldn't have been on this list at all. He should have ascended to the great void.
But the edict says his downfall was his hot heart. He got entangled in false concepts.
He just got sucked into the petty squabbles of the mortal world, all fueled by revenge. That emotional entanglement, that heat, kept him from the highest spiritual plane.
So he died because of an emotional overreach.
Exactly. But because his power was so immense, he gets one of the most powerful jobs in heaven, god of the mystic altar of the dragon and tiger. He's basically tasked with managing the global flow of resources.
And his ditties are fascinating because they're so contradictory. He's the CEO of prosperity, inviting auspiciousness, receiving blessings, but he's also pursuing fugitives and capturing the lost.
So he's like the IRS and Santa Claus rolled into one?
Pretty much. It connects wealth to moral accountability. It suggests that cosmic finance isn't just about luck, it's about enforcement.
Right. And to drive that point home, he's sealed with his entire financial team. You've got recruiting treasure, receiving riches, the wealth messenger, the profit official.
An instant, fully staffed Department of Commerce.
It just shows you how organized the new heaven is right out of the gate. They're using these highly skilled, if failed, individuals to staff crucial positions.
And you see that same efficiency with the four heavenly kings, the Malai brothers. These guys were intensely loyal to the old regime, and they were known for their crazy magical treasures.
And their story is pure Jiayun. The edict even praises their loyalty, their dedication. But again, it says their fate was unavoidable. They died doing their duty, which is why they get such an important post, protecting the nation and pacifying the people.
And their duties are tied directly to the environment, controlling wind, harmony, rain, and smoothness, the foundations of agriculture.
And what's so cool here is the direct transformation of their weapons into their function. Mo Liting had the green light sword, which made destructive wind.
And now he just manages beneficial wind.
Exactly. Mo Lihong's jade pipa, which made fire and sound, now manages harmony. Mo Lihai's chaos pearl umbrella, which made darkness, now manages rain.
And what about Mo Lisha's weird creature, the purple gold dragonflower fox weasel?
A terrifying, unpredictable creature.
Hello.
And now he manages smoothness. Their failed weapons of war become the tools of cosmic balance.
So their fate isn't just about loyalty, it's about their skill set being repurposed, from chaos to control.
That's it. Their specific type of power was needed for these specific roles.
Okay, now we move into some of the more specialized and kind of bizarre roles, starting with the Hominha generals.
Zhenglun and Chen Qi, these two guys were famous for their abdominal wonder.
Right, one could breathe out a deadly white light, the other yellow mist.
But look at their backgrounds. Zhenglun defected from the old king to join the new dynasty. Chen Qi was a loyalist who fought the new dynasty until he died. Politically, they were enemies.
So why are they sealed together? Does heaven just need two guys with similar respiratory powers?
Pretty much. It shows that their functional skill was prioritized way over their political allegiance. The cosmic system saw their unique skill set and just used it. Their mortal loyalties were totally irrelevant once they were dead.
And their job is to guard the Western Buddhist mountain gate. They're cosmic bouncers. That really makes the point, doesn't it? The Investiture is about utility, not virtue.
And that idea, utility founded on tragedy, just keeps going with the Yu Hualong family. Their story it's just intensely moving.
It's a profound tragedy. The edict goes out of its way to praise them because Yu Hualong and his entire family, his wife, his 5 sons, they defended a single city to the absolute death. They got the highest possible marks for human dedication.
They paid the ultimate price, and their divine roles reflect that. Yu Hualong is sealed as the master of epidemics, the controller of life, death, and yin-yang.
Wait a minute. A family that died defending their city is rewarded by being put in charge of disease and death. That feels like some serious cosmic irony.
It is profound irony. They showed perfect fidelity in the face of inevitable death, so they are given control of the inevitable death and sickness in the mortal world. His wife, Madame Jin, becomes the protector of the birthing chamber. She oversees entry into life.
And the 5 sons are the 5 directional smallpox gods.
Life, death, and illness are now managed by this one family unit who experienced the absolute worst of human suffering. It's a bureaucracy forged in immense grief.
This is where the scope just explodes, from functional management to true cosmic control. We have to talk about the Cloud Sisters, Yongxiao, Qiangxiao, and Big Xiao.
Their power was unbelievable. Their cultivation was so high, they genuinely threatened the entire established order. Their personal vengeance caused an existential crisis for the heavens.
They used the golden scissors to harm innocents, but their real crime, the fatal error, was setting up the Yellow River Array.
That array was legendary. It was so powerful it captured the highest sages and literally stripped them of their cultivation, reducing them to commoners. Their fall was absolutely necessary to restore balance.
But their power was undeniable.
And their sealing is proportional to the chaos they caused. They become the responsive, seasonal, immortal maiden sages, and they are given control of the ultimate engine of life and death, the chaos origin golden ladle.
So we're talking about the actual machine that decides who gets born, who gets reincarnated, and into what station in their next life.
All of it. The edict is explicit. The golden ladle controls reincarnation for everyone. Immortals, nobles, commoners, princes, emperors. No one is exempt. They control the cosmic pipeline of birth for the entire universe.
Okay, here it is. This is the most shocking, grounding detail in the whole source material. We have this ultra-powerful cosmic artifact, the golden ladle, controlled by these flawed but powerful sisters. And then Ziya clarifies what it actually is.
He does. He clarifies that this chaos origin golden ladle is symbolically the human night soil bucket. Ji Renjian Zijingting.
The mystical instrument that determines the fate of all beings is a toilet.
Fundamentally, yes. It means that all life, no matter how powerful or noble, is ultimately cycled through the same raw, humble, foundational process.
It's the ultimate leveling mechanism.
Hmm.
All status, all power, all pride is just stripped away when you enter the cycle of rebirth.
It's a profound commentary on the vanity of the entire war that led to this moment in the first place.
Wow. That moment perfectly sets up our final judgment, doesn't it? We go from the tragic deification of the grandly flawed to the punishment of the purely wicked.
Right. The sealing of the arch-traitor Shen Gongbo.
This was the guy who was the ultimate agent of chaos. He swayed Yen Zhao, convinced powerful cultivators to join the wrong side, constantly undermining the righteous cause. He refused redemption.
And the edict for him is brutally concise. It acknowledges his betrayal. His only saving grace was his past suffering in cultivation, but he's fundamentally isolated.
And what was his post?
He gets a very minor job, Water Division General in the East Sea. His duties are solitary and endless, just managing the simple cycle of water concentration and dispersal.
So it's an eternal, quiet, repetitive duty. The perfect punishment for someone who thrived on causing noise and trouble.
He's placed in a world of constant, predictable flow, totally isolated from the drama he craved.
The wind dies down, the fog clears, the divine task is done. But the human justice system is just getting started. And this is where we find the ultimate contrast.
Immediately after the last god is sealed, Jiang Ziya orders the execution of two of King Zhu's most corrupt officials, Fei Lian and Eli.
Right. These two were the worst of the old regime. When they're brought forward, they plead no crime. They argue the killing should be over now.
But Jiang Ziya rejects that instantly. He condemns them on purely human, political, and moral grounds, for misleading the ruler, for destroying the dynasty through self-serving corruption, and crucially, they tried to get rich positions under the new Zhu regime.
They were trying to keep the grift going.
Exactly. So here's the final distinction. The gods who committed cosmic crimes, like the Cloud Sisters capturing sages or Yin Zhao breaking his oath, are deified because they were part of the cosmic cycle of Jiayun.
But Fei Lian and Eli, whose crimes were purely mundane, political, self-serving wickedness.
They get executed. They weren't powerful cultivators caught up in fate. They were just wicked men using their positions for personal gain. Their evil was intentional and purely human. Because their crimes were against the state and the people, they just cannot be tolerated in the new order.
So Jiang Ziya executes them to draw a clear line in the sand.
To legitimize the new government and say the old corrupt ways are over.